down to Thompson, Ohio to Coonley Motorsports Park for the 24th annual Gasser reunion. We're currently on the expressway, trying not to get in an accident, because if you've ever hauled a trailer, you know everybody likes to cut you off, and no one knows how to drive. So hopefully we make it there safe, but we've got some racing to do this weekend. Made it to the cornfields. Woohoo! We're doing some corn racing this weekend. Well, we've got a brand new camera and we've got a brand new mic on this, so I don't have the on-person mic right now, so we'll see how this one works, but we're gonna hopefully get some better videos with this camera. Jordan's excited to use it this weekend. So we got here, we set up, we're kind of expecting maybe some rain, so we're trying to get things set up a little faster. I went to tech inspection already, so the truck's all good to go. We're waiting for them to call us up to staging lanes to go do some test and tune today, and then tomorrow will be the racing. We got snack galore in here right now. Got the fridge cooling up. Bed's made, we're all set. Well, we've been waiting for rain for like an hour and a half now, so we had some lunch. The next thing I wanted to kind of address before I went out was I want to weld some AN bungs on the valve covers so that I can run AN lines down to the vent tubes on the headers. Because these little baffles that are up here, they just slide right into the rubber piece and they leak a bunch of oil. So after every pass, I come back and wipe them down. I went ahead and cut a red rag in half, and I'm just tying this around there. We're gonna see if it stays on for a pass. If it does, then cool. Until I get those AN bungs on there, maybe this will be the solution. Didn't go as planned. I did a jet change and dropped 2 jet sizes because the plugs were so black the last time we went out. I'm gonna go ahead and put those jets back in because it cut out about half throttle through second gear there, just popping, and that just means it's too lean. So I'm gonna check a plug to verify and then put the other jets back in and go up for another test jet. Okay, so we went from a completely black plug to very, very white, which is not what we're looking for. It's white down in there. You're kind of reading around the ring, and it's not good. So we're gonna go ahead and put some jet back in this thing. It seemed to run really good at size 74 jet, I think is what, or 73 jet, which was in there. That's 2 sizes higher, so we're just gonna put it back to where we had it and run it. you saw the time board at the end there, Loud and Ugly just ran its fastest pass ever, 115 mile per hour, and that was an 11:142. Reaction time was terrible. It was 0.375, so if we work on that, we could probably run an 11.0 this weekend. It's a little bit cooler temperatures. We just put the 73 jets back in, so I rejetted down before we came here because I thought it was fat. Obviously it was too lean, it broke up first pass. Second pass ran the fastest pass it ever has, and I didn't hear it breaking up. So we're dealing with a line lock that's not working right now. For some reason, my line lock and trans brake are running off the same thing, and it is only working for the trans brake, not the line lock. So I'm gonna take a look at that, and then we lost a socket. I have holes in the floor in my cab corners. It just goes straight to the earth, and I had it in my passenger seat, the ratchet with a socket on it. Fell on the floor and the socket went flying out, so we're gonna go. I hope it's not on the track because that's terrible. Hopefully it's just sitting in staging lane somewhere, but that way we can check the plugs. I was at the end of the track trying to check plugs and realized when I pulled it out there was no socket on it, so we've got to get that figured out. But hooray, we just ran fastest pass ever for Loud and Ugly Garage. Well, we did in fact find the socket on the track. It was like past a tree, probably about, I don't know, 70 to 100 yards out. So that was, or 70 to 100 feet out, but it wasn't on the rubber part of the track, it was off to the edge. They halted a burnout for me so I could run out and grab it. So we checked the plugs, they look a hell of a lot better. Then the line lock issue was still happening. I couldn't get the line lock to engage, and my light right here, indicator light, wasn't working. So I chased all the wires and found a broken wire on the back of the indicator, and it looks like the wire just busted out of the solder. So what we did, resoldered it. Jordan turned on the power and clicked it. I could hear the solenoid actuating, but we're gonna go down to the end of the track and just make sure it works. Alright, press the brake in. Perfect. I'd say it works pretty good now. We are in Mom and Dad's trailer. They shot down for today's race that totally got canceled. It is windy, it's freezing, probably like 45 degrees, 48 degrees, something like that. So we've got the generator hooked up. We're gonna go buy a few more little heaters because everyone's freezing their baguettes off, and yeah, they got Mom and Dad over here, and we ran our fastest pass yesterday, so we're gonna stick around. They have racing on Sunday, but we're just gonna maybe mess around on the pit bikes a little bit later when the wind stops, and run to the store here and get some more heaters.
This isn't perfect, but it's way better than I expected. We'll see if it runs even better when you kind of change that slacking all around.
And the car, John Moyer. Bad blood.
Now Puddin' gonna be jealous because I didn't turn the lights on for him. There. And then there's a 1/4 mile to scale Hot Wheel drag strip with a Christmas tree and fiber optic beams. I'll tell you who won.
Yeah, full diner in here.
That's the original one?
Yeah, that's this diner.
Okay.
I know the Peter Pan.
I found it by accident. I was searching for, I always look for diners since.
Hood is original, but the menu boards are not. And the icebox is original, but he kept all the hardware, so I had to find hardware for it. And then I had no intentions of using it as an icebox, so I hid the furnace inside of it.
Nice.
Which this thing still seals good. In this winter, I got to open the bottom door. Otherwise, the furnace won't run because it runs out of air.
Wow.
So that's pretty cool. And then I put the vent there, and I got another one that runs outside and goes out over there. I put styrofoam everywhere I could, and I put R30 in the floor. It actually warms up in here pretty quick.
Yeah.
It takes a little bit of time for the material to get warm.
You didn't tell the whole story.
We were little, when we were young, and I always thought diners were cool. And when we were kids, we'd go on vacation to Henry Ford Museum and do Greenfield Village and all that. And I played with Hot Wheels, but I also used to make villages with boxes and stuff and make a little Greenfield Village. So I thought it'd be pretty cool if I could find a diner to put one in here. And lo and behold, one night I find one on the internet at the American Diner Museum in Fall River, Massachusetts. And he's got like 7 of them for sale. So I start looking at them all, and this one's on there, and it says it's a part, and it has the approximate measurements of it. So I'm out here at 3 o'clock in the morning with a tape measure, climbing over all the rest of the junk that I had collected, thinking, I think this will fit. So long story short, I ended up buying it, and me and 2 ex-friends drove out there, because now when I call them, they hang up. And we drive out there with my pickup and a car trailer, and I rented a 24-foot Penske box truck, and this was on the 4th floor of a warehouse, completely disassembled.
Oh yeah.
And we took it all down a freight elevator, put it in the box truck, and the windows, the top diffusers are original, but the rest of the glass was gone. So we put those in blankets in the car trailer, and it was a bonsai run. We left here, drove through the night, got the pickup, the trailer, or the truck, went to the place, loaded it all up, and then drove back. And I stopped in Erie and treated them to some wings at Quaker Steak and Lube. What a guy. And we came back here and unloaded it. But every part of this diner, you and I could pick up. I mean, it was that far dismantled. And when they took it apart, it was 2 guys that took it apart, and they marked everything, you know, like elevation 1, elevation 2, stuff like that. But one was left hand, right hand, and one was left hand, right hand. So it took a while to decipher how everything went.
Is it all just laying out in the yard?
No, it was in here.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know how I got that much room in here. I must have parked cars outside. The first thing I did was built the floor. So it's on 2x10s, and then plywood on top, and then luan on top of that. And my kids were shorter than the counter at the time, and they came out here and thought I built them a baton stage to practice baton twirling. And then I just started putting it together. I worked on it usually from Halloween to Christmas, because the car season starts to slow down, and the concrete's real thick in this building, so it stays pretty warm until about Christmas time.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's pretty sweet.
Most reliable vehicle. I drive it quite a bit. Still.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so that was one of the coolest.
I don't know if days are numbered if I get the number.
Right back here.
Oh, yeah.
Your dad was big into this stuff too then, I take it?
He's got, he still has a bus.
Oh, yeah.
The machine was a basket case. It's actually out of Washington State. I bought it in Wisconsin as a basket case and put it back together. Original 390. What's rare about it's an automatic air car. It's probably my favorite muscle car because it's so unique. I mean, it's like you feel when you pull in with your truck at a car show.
Yeah.
You know, you pretty much go anywhere with this and people are just jaw dropping because they just never see them.
Yeah.
I have like very little money in this car. I don't have the respect for what it's actually worth.
Yeah.
You know, never in my wildest dreams did I think that car would be worth more than this car.
Was that Applebee's where the picture of this was at?
Yeah, so
that was so funny that day.
we go to we have a dinner after Rock and Race, and we go to this Applebee's in Cleveland, and I drove this, and I pulled in and parked on the side of the restaurant where nobody else was parked. And I come inside, and they're all looking at me, and they're looking at the wall, and they're looking at me, and they're looking at the wall, and they go, "Did you know this?" And I go, "No, what?" There's a picture of my car on the wall in Applebee's.
Oh, really?
And the car's right outside the window.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
I don't think I've ever seen one like that.
The machine? 19 years old in Southern California, the used car lot.
Yeah, right.
Paradise Motors.
How much?
How much did I buy it for?
Yeah.
$1,500. Smog tag title out the door. drove it to the base. Had 2 vacuum lines that were disconnected off the carburetor. Hooked up the vacuum lines and it started to run pretty good. I did rebuild the engine in my dorm room. I took it to machine shop, had it machined, and then reassembled it in my dorm room, and then we went out to the hobby shop and put the engine back in it.
Sweet.
So when I got out of the service, I drove this home. It had a hitch on it, and I towed my Gremlin with a tow dolly from California.
Back to Ohio?
Yeah, back here, yeah. This Mustang here I just got last fall, well, last summer actually, and it's a one owner, 18,000 original mile car. Hasn't been on the road since '84.
The little barn find?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm thinking about I should take it to Chicago for that muscle car barn find section. They probably won't believe that it's this nice. I haven't washed it or anything. This is exactly how I pulled it out of the garage.
Yeah.
It was on blocks, so it didn't wear out the suspension or anything. It's got a real rad 8-track tape player between the seats, and I found the box for it in the rafters. But this one, same thing. I mean, listen.
Oh, you found the box
yeah.
in the barn?
Yeah, the guy was bored. He kept everything.
Yeah.
He replaced parts on this. I've got 2 tune-ups of parts.
That looks like a raccoon or something.
Yeah. Yeah, the garage was rough.
Yeah.
It's amazing it looks this good because the garage was rough. Superbird. This sold at Mecum 2 years ago for $70,000 with the money that you got to pay, the fees and everything. He ended up paying $77,500 for it.
Wow.
I traded my mid-engine twin turbo GTM for it. I mean, when you do a trade, you don't, it's like when you buy a car sight unseen, you don't expect it to be what they say it is.
Yeah.
The biggest disappointment I have with this is it doesn't have headlights.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and he should have told me it didn't have headlights. But I didn't ask either. My bad.
Yeah.
Other than that, it's probably the best riding car I own.
He gotcha.
This one I bought out of a field in Southern Ohio. It sat outside from '76 until '99 when I bought it. I did all the body work and paint and everything on it. This is the one we were in Daytona. I've driven this to Daytona 3 times now, I think. This was my favorite road car until I built the Corvette. 4-speed, same side pipes. Just a great car. I love going through the tunnels on the way to Florida and watching the lights on the hood with the hood scoop and everything.
Yeah.
Functional ram air. This one's seen snow too. So when I was a little kid, before my feet could even touch the floor, my grandpa was taking it out and wailing on it and shifting 4 gears and everything with it. My dad bought it from him, and then when my dad built his bus, he didn't have room for it anymore, so I bought it from my dad. And it's really cool because I'm the 3rd, so I didn't even have to change the name on the side. My dad says his claim to fame is he's the first one to ever do this on a Corvette.
Okay.
Which, that's my dad.
What do you think, Dad?
The 65 or the 383?
Because you
Pretty wild, huh?
get away from
Yes,
local
sir.
car insurance.
Awesome.
And I go, I don't think so. And they're like, try. So I sat in it and I go, all right, I got to get it running. It's not paint, it's actually gel coat in the red, white, and blue. Genuine Suspension Brothers out of California, and they were sponsored by Mr. Gasket. So the year before they ran a fuel alter, and there was no money in sponsorship, so they decided to build a funny car. And the AMX is such a short car, the wheelbase worked out for their with their alter. So it was 99-inch wheelbase, and they put the AMX body right on it, and they were right because Mr. Gasket jumped on board right away. Fastest this car's gone is 208. Ran a 354 Hemi. First thing I own, this is the AMC Grant Rebel SST funny car. This was $1 million car in 1968. American Motors hired Hayden Profit to spearhead the project, and that is an actual AMC nitro motor in it. So everybody asked me, why did I name the Rebel Reaper the Rebel Reaper? I bought that engine on eBay years ago. I had an intake from this program, so I knew about it, and then that engine popped up, and I bought that. And I never thought I'd get the funny car, so I said, well, I'll put that engine in my Willys. Rebel, and then Reaper, because if I'm putting a 1,200 horse motor in a Willys, I figured I'd be cheating death every time I went down the track. So that's how I came up with the name Rebel Reaper. I chased this car for 17 years. And then when I got that one, and I was like, well, I could stick the motor in that now, you know? And a couple days later, he called me and says, it's time for you to buy the Grant Rebel.
That's awesome.
Watch your step.
This little thing here.
It's a mess in here.
Cool.
Watch your step. Try not to scratch my car.
So this one was your dad, or?
No, I built this car. This is Toke.
Always.
Toke, what's the reasoning?
Look at it.
Yeah. That's pretty sweet with the T on the back.
Yep.
I see you post this one all the time, and I'm like, that thing looks so wild.
My favorite car Don has.
I love
I tell him
this
that
thing.
all the time.
The blue plexiglass up
Yep.
there, that's sweet.
Yep.
I thought he had a blue light on in there, but it's all just blue because it's shining through the plexiglass.
Yep.
So you tried to make it look like it was
Yep.
back then, yeah.
Yep. I'm gonna take it one step further. Honestly, when I built this car, I was doing it to sell it.
Yeah.
And when I got done, and then I won best home build at Good Guys, I was like, maybe I should keep this thing. I really like it.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm gonna get rid of these aftermarket wheels and put older wheels on it.
Now who did the paint work on this?
Mark Schwartzlander. He's doing the club car right now. I think this is his finest work.
Yeah, this is great. This is awesome.
Yeah. That car? Yes. Yep. All steel.
31.
Really?
30.
I had a 30 Model A coupe. I just got rid of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a
It was
30.
pretty bad though.
Yeah, I love that car. And then here's my poor hurt Willys.
Yep.
The Reaper that
It's
does
sitting real high and proud right now without an engine in it.
Yeah.
First time it hasn't had an engine in it in probably 18 years. So the dash is the original paint. I took a surgical scalpel and scraped off all the primer and paint over the years to get to the original paint and pinstriping on the dash.
Oh wow.
Those original gauges.
What did they have it painted over? Was it the green?
Well, it was green, and then it was primer and primer and primer and primer and primer. This car's been messed up many times. This is a super cool local historical car that I've dreamed of building forever and never get to.
Oh, sweet.
You'll be the one that'll finish it. That fucking will be done next year.
That's awesome.
That's what we talked about doing when I traveled the gas
Yeah.
rod on my Model A.
This is where I got the blue Lexan from. They had blue Lexan screwed to the top, and then the roll bar sticks out over the roof.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's sweet.
I have everything from this car except for the engine,
Yep.
including the tires.
Yeah.
This is the most incredible barn find car I've ever come across.
So is this like an X-race car then?
This is an X-race car. It's been sitting since 1962.
Wow.
This ran in 108 in the quarter in 1960.
That's sweet.
It's a 303.
So was it just parked and never touched after?
Yeah, I guess they got in a fight. The two guys that ran it got in a fight and they just parked it.
That's crazy.
So, see the fuel tank?
Yeah.
Right here's a tire pump. You pump up the tire pump, watch this gauge right here in the dash, and you're putting pressure in that tank.
Oh, wow.
And then this choke cable, you pull this choke cable, and it opens that valve and lets the fuel go into the carburetors, and then you make your pass.
Wow.
So how this car's set up, when my dad saw this, he goes, that's what the Lazy 8 looked like when I got it. No radiator, no water pump, no starter, a small motorcycle battery. Weight was everything. No front brakes.
How do they start this thing?
Push started.
Oh my gosh.
This still has
Push bar on it?
This still
Look
has
at
the
this.
push bar.
They cut a steering wheel down and made it like a...
Dragster. Butterfly. Yeah, still got the push bar.
That's awesome.
The tires, everything original. These are Sandusky cheater slicks. It's an incredible car. And what's really amazing, everything's in great shape.
Yeah.
Great shape.
That's cool. Well, the old zoomies sticking out there.
Yep.
This looks awesome.
It's an awesome car.
Yeah, this is cool.
I don't fit, and I'll never get to it. It needs to go to somebody that'll do something with it.
What are you asking for this?
40. Which I think's super fair because this is a
Yeah, where are you gonna find
rust-free
this?
34 body. They're 25, 35 grand just for the bodies. This is a 29 Roadster. It's the nicest body I've ever had. This sat in a junkyard inside a shop since World War II.
South of Sandusky.
Wow.
The guy put it in storage in World War II. Never did anything with it. Yeah, it's incredible.
We went during COVID actually.
I've collected a whole bunch of parts for this. Do you guys know who Sam Conrad was? He was one of the LA Roadsters, one of the members of the LA Roadsters. And his car was the car they used for the first public photo of the Beach Boys in front of Capitol Records.
Okay.
It's a dark blue Roadster with an Oldsmobile drivetrain.
Yeah.
I have the Eddie Martinez tuck and roll interior from that car. So I'm going to clone it. This is my last project.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I'm going to clone that car.
Well, the sun is out today. It's Sunday morning out of this supposedly 3-day race weekend. We got 2 passes on Friday. We did the jet change the first one. We ran the fastest pass the second. So we were pretty excited to race on Saturday, but it was so windy and so cold, like 46 degrees all day and windy. And then around like 5 o'clock in the afternoon, it cleared up and started to get a little sunny. So they ended up canceling earlier in the day. So we spent the day over at Don Moyer's. He stopped by and took us over, showed us his shop and museum that he's got. That was awesome, so thanks Don. That was super cool. Take the family over there and check that out. But we got the truck out of the ice box here, is what I call the trailer, because it's colder in the trailer than it is outside. And if you remember last time we raced in the cold weather, we broke a starter at Lapeer. So I've got the new MSD one on here, the big dog, and we got it sitting in the sun here for about an hour now. Hopefully that warmed the engine up enough to get the oil moving freely in there, because this is straight 50 weight oil. We're gonna go ahead, we got a driver's meeting in like 10 minutes, and then I can give you more information about how the race day is gonna be, and then we'll get this thing preheated and do some racing today. had to warm this up, get some heat in the engine. It was up to like 160, so Dad hasn't ever launched off a trans brake before, so I let him press the green button on the steering wheel. We left there at like, what, 3,000? About 3,000 RPM. It just blows the tires off, but that way he gets the feeling of what it's like to be behind the wheel and controlling something with that much power. It's super fun, so.
Yeah, it was a blast. Makes you want to just get in there and do it, so we'll see.
We gotta get Dad a race car next, so. Here's today. We're gonna have availability to do test and tune after our races or in between races because they canceled yesterday to kind of make up for it. So we may get more than just 2 passes today if I get knocked out first round. So that'll be cool. We'll be able to do a little bit of testing and have some fun today. Big end of the track. The time boards didn't work, Jordan said, so she wasn't able to show you on the camera. But my parents just went to grab the time ticket. It felt like one of my fastest passes ever. Plugs look good. We're running 73 squared in this, so I'm just gonna keep it there. It's a little cooler out today. The first pass on Friday, I leaned it out too much, so I'm just gonna leave it right here. It seems to like it. Ran great, no lean pop on the top end. So we're gonna go up, make a few more test hits, and then I think we're gonna do a gambler's race today. All right, you guys think I had a 10 yet? No. We just ran fastest pass again at 11:090, so we're cruising. Not doing as big of wheelies, just kind of trying to get into the 10s because that'd be really cool to see the truck hit a 10. So we're gonna go back up. That was just a test and tune hit. Probably do another test and tune. Like I said, down at the end of the track, plugs are looking good, so we're not changing anything. We're just gonna go up, try to get a better reaction time. So I have a .266 reaction. If I can dial that down a little bit, we should be able to click a high 10 here. So fingers crossed, and let's go hit a 10. Well, we got 3 test and tune hits this morning. I'm gonna go ahead and wait, let the truck charge back up before we go out for the first round of the gambler race. For that, we're looking at my fastest times ever I've been running at this track, and I think it's because of cool air, and we've got a little bit of a tailwind today. But we're gonna use that to our advantage. Across the line, I thought it was breaking up a little bit, but that last pass, I was paying attention to the tack a little bit more, and I was bouncing rev limiter across the line, which normally I never do. And I had a fastest mile an hour at 116.16. So this thing is cruising today. I think that we can definitely get into the 10s, which is a huge goal of mine. So we're gonna try to launch a little bit lighter. The last 2 passes I was launching a little harder, and it's cutting to the right because the track prep here is pretty bad. And I went after the wheelie PT Cruiser, and it was dragging like this bar down the track, so I couldn't hook up on the line. It literally just started spinning and cutting towards the right. So we'll try to launch a little bit softer, but bump up the rev limiter as well, and we'll see if we can hit a 10. We are in staging lanes right now for a gambler race, so it's $20 buy-in, and we're just racing random cars because there's pretty much no gassers left here. So we're gonna make the best of it. Hopefully break into the 10s. We put 11.0 on the window, so if we break out in a 10, I'm gonna count it as a win and go home. We just ran an 11.1 for our first round of the gamblers, beating the car that's back in staging because they bought back in. So we're gonna go back up and try to get another win. We lost second round there, but we ran an 11.1, so still running fastest times this truck has ever ran. I'm hoping to think it's just cool weather and the tailwind we got today, but all in all, good time today. Yesterday was a washout, but we got to see Don Moyer's place, so that was cool. We're gonna go ahead and wrap things up. We got a 4.5 hour drive home, so a lot of unloading to do tonight, but we'll be at the next race will be Milan Dragway for the Detroit Dragway reunion. Granted, they have the track completed and ready to go, so we're fingers crossed on that, but that's our next event. So if you want to come out and see Loud and Ugly live, come out there and hang out with the Great Lake Gassers and us.